Welcome back to another episode of Atlanta Unplugged. I'm your host, Steve Paul, ready once again to bring y'all some talent right here on the stage here in Atlanta. And today we got a beautiful guest who does pop music, going by the name of Stephanie. What's happening, Stephanie?
Hey, what's up? Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Yes, indeed. Thank you for being here. It was an honor. You came and you actually did a performance and everything with your music on the keys and all that. So thank you for blessing the stage.
You're welcome. I really was looking forward to it because obviously there hasn't been a lot of opportunities to actually kind of get out there and share music with someone in the room with you, in front of you. It's a totally different experience than me recording it at my house in my room.
Right. Because things are starting to get back out in the open, because we had the 2020 pandemic going on and everything.
Yeah.
So, but tell us about yourself. Tell us, who is Stephanie?
Yeah, so even though I was born and raised in Georgia, I don't sound like it, right? I get that question a lot. They're like, are you sure you're from here? I'm like, yes, I'm sure. But I lived in a couple of different places. I lived in Hawaii. I lived in California for 10 years.
Okay.
My family jokes that I'm a Cali girl now. I'm like totally in all the California.
A Georgia Valley girl. That's what that is. Georgia Valley girl.
If that exists, then I'm a part of that, and if it doesn't exist, then I will happily start it.
Okay. So we got the Valley Girl Gang movement,
Yes.
Georgia Valley Girl Gang movement happening right now.
It's right now. Get on it. I mean, like, totally get on it.
Right. What part of Georgia?
I was actually born and raised in Warner Robins, and it's pretty small. And even when I was younger, growing up in Warner Robins, I kind of already had dreams of getting out.
Okay.
Warner Robins is a really lovely place, but I'm just the type of person, I want to be around energy. I love the city, and I always loved the city, even as a young girl. So I was so excited when I finally did get to start moving around and seeing other new things, because that is totally what I'm all about.
Okay, that's cool. Now tell us about you and your music, because you consider yourself a pop artist.
I do, which is a little controversial if you talk to like my close friends and my family, because they really want me to veer more towards like R&B and things like that. I listen to everything, and I know that sounds like a cop-out, but I really do. Like, I used to joke and ask people to quiz me, like, ask me a music genre, I'll tell you my favorites. But pop music is one of those genres that I just find myself drawn to because I love the way it evolves. I think it's so fun the way it evolves, and they have fun when they play. Not that other genres don't, but I think there's a little more room sometimes to have a lot of fun with your expression and what you're doing, and I'm totally drawn to that.
Okay, so in that pop culture, like, give some examples to the audience or to the viewers that might not know who falls into the category of pop.
Well, I think one of the artists I tend to sing along to in the car the most is Demi Lovato. I think when she first started, of course, she was coming off of Disney, so it was a little too squeaky clean. But obviously, when she got into her own more, she's got a powerhouse voice, and she sings about her life. She sings about her addictions. She sings about her love, and she still does it in this pop arena, and I think that that's so cool. So that's one of my first top examples that kind of comes to mind as far as what pop singers have been doing.
So she be singing about how Mickey Mouse was,
Mickey did not treat me right. He took me on only 2 dates, and they were horrible. He broke my heart.
Mickey Mouse be pimping.
He might.
So tell us how you got involved into music, and did you go to school for it or anything like that?
Yeah, so I actually started in theater. Theater was where I began. I think it sometimes comes through a little bit that I have this peppy, high energy attitude usually, and I think that's totally a theater thing. And when I was very young, I started doing any type of theater I could. as I got older, I started doing theater in California, and I spent a good decade just performing in musical theater shows. So I learned how to sing. I learned how to really listen to music and listen to others around me. And I got a really great skill set. But, you know, it's not the same, of course, as being able to, like, write your own song and be able to present that to people.
Right. And that's what I find very cool about you, is that you actually produce your own music, your own pop music. Most of the time I see a lot of people like to do cover art.
Yeah,
or
it's easy to.
They just sing somebody else's song and everything like that.
Yeah.
So that's cool that you, because from what I've heard in your music and everything, it sounds on the professional level as the pop artists out there. That's why I had to ask you, do you write your own music? And you was like, yeah, I write my own music.
I really appreciate that. I do have to give some credit. I work with some really cool producers right now. I also do write music as well. So it just depends on which song it is. Like if I have a heavy hand in that, or if I kind of let them do a little bit and then be a part of the process. But I love all the parts of that process.
Do you write for other artists?
I don't right now, but I want to. So I would love to write for other artists. I've talked to musicians before who say that they struggle with lyric writing. That tends to be something that people find very difficult, and that's something that I love to do. That's like my favorite part of the songwriting process. Right. So I would like to be in a position where I can write songs for other artists to perform. I would love that.
Okay. Yeah. That is an opportunity out there, because not everybody, especially when in the singing world, you know, you got a lot of people out there that have beautiful voices but don't necessarily know how to put the words together, right? Or they just know how to bring out what somebody else wrote and everything like that.
And that's a talent all in itself. Like, if you're a type of singer who can take something that someone else wrote or whatnot and really bring it to life, that's a beautiful talent. Definitely not to be taken for granted. Right.
So in being in the pop genre, and not to say that that's not all you can do, right? You have levels to you. So you have layers. So you dibbled and dabbled in all type of genres, right?
I do. I used to be in rock bands. It might be a little bit obvious given my aesthetic, but I love rock music. I listened to a lot of angsty rock growing up. That was all my jam.
What kind of rock?
Well, when I was growing up, I listened to Linkin Park. I listened to Stained.
Linkin Park is dope.
Yeah, Korn. Oh my gosh, all of that. It was totally my jam. I loved all of it. It was a problem.
Right. And you know, and I respect all genres and everything. And it's all about recognized professionalism. You know what I mean? If something is good, something is good.
Absolutely.
Something is great, it's great, regardless of what, you know, genre you like to stay in the most. But yeah, people like Green Day and everything came out. So tell me about this. What did you think about Kid Cudi?
Oh, I loved Kid Cudi. Okay, I was obsessed.
Do you know what I'm talking about, though?
No, I don't. But I just, in general, I'm obsessed. I just love Kid Cudi's music. But I don't. So tell me, like, clearly there's a story here.
Kid Cudi's SNL, where he came out in a flower dress.
Oh no, I did not see that. I'm so for it though.
But you know, his excuse was that he did it for Kurt Cobain. In honor
that's
of
beautiful.
Kurt Cobain.
That's awesome. I love that. And now I'm gonna look for that once we're done here, because I can't wait to watch that. I love that. I think especially when artists honor other artists, I think there's something so beautiful about that. We have a unique experience where we don't have to be in competition of each other. Whereas if you start like a business, like a t-shirt business or something like that, you start to see people who also do that as your competitors, you know? Whereas with music, with art, I think we have a lot of avenues to be in community with each other.
Oh,
and
yeah.
to,
Yeah,
and to
yeah.
not have to feel like that's my competitor and whatnot. And so when I see things like that, it just reminds me of that community we all have.
Yeah.
I think it's cool. And I think it's really cool that he's wearing a flower dress. Like, hey,
You think it's cool?
if Harry Styles can do it, Kid Cudi can do it.
Yeah,
So.
I think he could have, honored him in another way, but
Just smashed a guitar, maybe. That might have been a little bit easier.
Right. So in the pop genre is there a lot of us there?
That's a really, really good question because unfortunately there's not. And there's two reasons for this, in my opinion. The first being that, of course, naturally there are more Black artists in these genres that we've created and sculpted and grown, But the other reason is a lot of Black pop artists get automatically pushed into R&B categories, even if they're not R&B artists. Like a lot of the songs that Rihanna did in her earlier days was pop. She wasn't making R&B back then, but she was still considered an R&B artist even back then.
Right,
and one of the biggest Black pop musicians ever is Whitney Houston. And all she did was really great pop and occasionally some really great R&B.
So is pop more considered like more commercial appeal?
Yeah.
What do they call it? Across the, Yeah, crossover.
Crossover is a good way of saying it.
Because now, I didn't mean to cut you off, but because now they're trying to consider LL Cool J being a pop artist.
That's funny. I mean, he can make pop music. He can do anything, but that's funny.
Yeah, but they are actually considering him being a pop artist, and he's like one of the original hip hop artists. And I guess it's just a level of more commercialism, more.
Yeah, it's kind of like. And like I said earlier, it's always evolving. Pop music from the 50s, we consider that a different name than we do today than they did back then. They considered that pop music, and it's constantly evolving. And I think one of the biggest factors with pop music is, like you said, it has to cross over a bit. There's a little bit of everything that is popular to the ear right now happening in good pop music. So you don't necessarily have to just do like kind of one certain thing, in my opinion, to be considered pop. It's really about that appeal across this mainstream board, and a lot of that comes into pulling these really fun elements from different music.
Right. Because you can have fun with pop music. Pop music is real lighthearted, in my opinion.
Unless you're a dark pop artist, in which case.
Oh, so they have categories of the pop.
They do, which I might dabble into because I like me some really good darker themed songs and music. Obviously, with my love for rock music, I'm totally into that. So I might dabble in that too. There are a couple of different routes you can take.
Okay. So to me, you also feel like you get into like the cosplay world and everything. Am I right with that, or?
Okay, I love Halloween. If that isn't obvious, I love Halloween. I haven't really cosplayed before, but I think it's really cool. I think it's really neat the way that people can custom make things like that. Like that's not a skill set I have. But I'll make my Halloween costumes. Every year I prefer to make my Halloween costume. I don't purchase it. I just make it myself.
Okay. So going back to your music, so you got some music out there right now that people could tap into and actually listen to. Oh my God. Right?
Yeah, I do. I have my debut single is out on Spotify and any other streaming platform, Tidal, Apple Music, all that. So whichever one you prefer, it's out there. And I have some singles that are upcoming. They're all original music that I've written myself. As far as other things I've done in the past, I did like some cover songs and things like that, really just for the love of the music. Right. But my energy is towards the original songs that I'm writing and that I'm going to be releasing soon.
Now, what song shows you? Like, what song would you say that you have out there that somebody will listen in that will be able to, that you think that people will be able to understand who you are?
Okay. I would absolutely say my debut song out right now, it's called You and I. That I think gives people a really good idea on who I am as a person. I wrote it about a very, very deeply personal and awesome experience that I had with friendship and connection to other people. And also, as far as just the way the song sounds, I think that's definitely more my vibe. Because obviously pop can get pretty upbeat and it can get really fun. I'm not really a dancer or anything like that, but I do tend to gravitate towards just really, really pretty melodies and really pretty songs. And sometimes those songs might be a little sad or might sound a little bit sad, but I gravitate towards that a lot. So I think that debut shows me.
So are you message driven?
Yes, I am. I told myself when I started writing pop that I wasn't necessarily going to write a song just to write it. You know, like I didn't want to just write a love song just because, oh, it sounds like it could be lovey-dovey. So everything that I write so much easier when I write from a personal experience. I don't think that there's anything wrong with just writing a love song just because you feel like writing a love song. In fact, I think it's a skill set that maybe I will work on in the future. But for me, it's so much easier if I take an actual experience I've had in life and I just plop that right into the song. And I want it to hopefully connect with others.
So all the songs that you have are your personal experiences right now?
Absolutely.
Okay.
You and I is about people that I met in San Diego. And some of those lyrics are even specific to situations I experienced with them. For instance, in the song, one of the lyrics is, I admire you when you sing. And I put that lyric in there because one of the things we used to do as a group after our theater shows, I met them in theater, is we would all go out and do karaoke together really late at night in these like really tiny dive bars where it was just us and maybe like 3 other people. And we would just have a blast just lifting each other up, singing songs for each other. And that experience was paramount to our connection. And so I put that into the song.
Right. That's beautiful, you know.
Thank you.
No, it's good. I like when artists are able to take their life and and because to me, music is a form of communication. So if you're able to translate your thoughts and your experiences in a rhythmic way, I think that shows your level of professionalism when it comes to actually being an artist, and you're not just singing you're just not singing anything.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes it, in my opinion, so much more of a personal experience when you then go step up to sing that song, because you're transported to that moment, that feeling every time you sing it. And it can really help, just kind of silence things for a moment and just be in that space and then have fun with it.
Right. And so what school did you go to? Did you go to school for?
I did not go to school for music. I am self-taught piano, and
Self-taught. That is dope.
I started playing piano when I was 12, and I would just sit down. I had a grand piano that belonged to my mom and my grandmother, and I would just sit down at it and play every single day. And I went through all my mom's old piano books. So I went lesson by lesson. So she played piano. She did, yeah. I try to get her background. Yeah, I try to get her to play now, and she's like, "Oh, I don't know anything." Like she'll be like, "Oh, I don't know," and then just like wail on it. But she's one of those. But I picked up all her old books, and I just went through them and learned by myself.
Your father, does he play any music?
My father was a comedian, actually.
Really?
Yeah, he was a comedian. So I feel like I got my sense for wanting to be on a stage from him. I feel that's a connection that I get to.
Jokes.
I mean, I think I crack jokes sometimes too.
Yeah. I mean, you real humorous and everything like that.
Thanks.
But that's an interesting dynamic, coming from basically entertainment family and everything. That's
I would say
good
so.
blend.
Yeah, I would say so. We're creative people, and that's always so fun to be around when you're growing up.
Right. You come from a huge family, or is it just you?
It's a small family. It's me and my mom, and my sister now.
Yeah.
So, but we call ourselves the Three Musketeers.
Three Musketeers.
Yeah, so we have a lot of fun. We hang out together. We learn new recipes. We do like online cooking lessons and try new things. And we have a lot of time where we just like spend with each other.
Family oriented. I can't get the word.
I don't think I could either.
Yeah. So as far as your education,
I did go to school, but I did not study music because I'm
Did
dumb.
you go to a performing arts?
I did not.
No?
And I really, really wanted to, but I grew up in Warner Robins, and so that opportunity wasn't really there in Warner Robins, Georgia. And then I graduated high school in Hawaii, and I only spent 1 year in high school in Hawaii.
Graduated high school in Hawaii.
Yeah.
How many of y'all can say, yeah, I just graduated in Hawaii?
I graduated
People want
high
to go to
school in
Hawaii just for vacations, you know what I'm saying?
Go for
to
vacation,
school
don't go to live there. But go for vacation.
So how do you get from Georgia to Hawaii to California, and then what brought you back to Georgia?
Yeah, so my mom is the reason for the Hawaii move. She's a civilian with the military.
Okay.
So similar to a military family, we moved out to Hawaii for her first civilian assignment on base.
Wait, I don't even understand that. Civilian?
Yeah, so she works for the military, but she's not active duty. She didn't sign up.
But she get the military benefits.
No, she doesn't get all of them. She gets like a military paycheck. But no, so
we were already civilians.
yeah, so she doesn't get military because she's not active duty or anything like that. She just works for the government. But she got her first job assignment out there. And so that's why we ended up in Hawaii. It was a really cool experience, but I did get island fever. I was like, I'm so tired of being on an island in the middle of nowhere. And Hawaii is a great place to visit, but it's got its issues just like any other place when you live there.
Okay. Now, so what do you have to offer as far as through your experiences to the people that are interested in pop, or the people that are going to listen to you and listen to your songs and get intrigued about what you're doing? What do you have to say to those people?
Okay, that's a really good question. I think the biggest thing I want to say to those people is I value human connection. That is like the way I live my life. That's the way I go through things. I live by that golden rule. I want to treat people the way I want to be treated. And it makes my day when I get to have a real connection with someone, whether I've just met them or I've known them for a very, very long period of time. And I think one of the best ways I get to do that is through music. It is so like, it is a feeling that is hard to describe when you hear a song and you feel like that song could be about me. And this person could understand what I'm feeling too. And I want to create that feeling for others as much as I possibly can.
Well, y'all heard it. Hey, Atlanta Unplugged is breaking new artists. So y'all need to tap in, tune in, and check out this sister right here, going by the name of Stephanie.
Stef Amadeus.
And her middle name is really...
It's actually my middle name. It is on my birth certificate. That's why I chose it. I struggle with that a bit. I was like, people are going to think I'm so weird. But then I was like, you know what? I don't care. It's my name. It's my name.
Yeah. But y'all gonna hear what she got for y'all. She did a stage performance. It was the bomb. And, I'm going to start listening to more pop music. I might want to just become a pop artist.
We have a conversion. That's one down, a million to go.
I just want to, live my best life and just be happy.
Nice.
So go ahead and let the people know how they can get in contact with you and in touch with you and everything like that.
Yeah, totally. So once again, I'm Stef Amadeus. I'm so excited that I got to share this experience with Atlanta Unplugged. I would love it if you would follow me on Instagram, and that's at Stef Amadeus. I personally respond to all of my messages and comments, so you can actually go on there and ask me questions or just strike up a conversation. I'm literally totally fine with that, and I love it. So follow me there. You can check out my music. It's on Spotify, iTunes, Pandora, Deezer, anywhere that music is streamed.
Yes, indeed. And that's it. That's all. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Show us some love, show us some support so we can continue to give out this great content and everything like that. And tune in, tap in. This is Atlanta Unplugged. And we love y'all. Peace.